I treated him with ice for the first time when he was just 23, curled up in the medical room like a young boy who'd just been scolded. He didn't say much, just winced and shook his head as if to say he was fine, but I knew better. For young players, "I'm fine" is just another way of saying I don't want to miss the next game. I massaged his leg, gave him painkillers, and reminded him over and over again, pain is normal in this career, foolishness is fatal. He smiled, half shy, half hungry for glory, and thanked me in broken English. That was the first day I thought to myself, I'm going to be walking alongside this kid for a long time. Then everything happened fast. He scored goals, became famous, got gifted supercars, and had women waiting outside the stadium gates. But every time he came into the therapy room, he'd say, "You were right. No one lasts long if they don't protect their body." I thought he'd listened. I believed he was different. Until I saw the video. That yellow Lamborghini is speeding through the city like a lightning bolt. People are cheering under the short clip he posted. And me, I just sighed. I typed a message, "Be careful. Don't let one moment of thrill cost you your whole future." But I deleted it. I didn't want to upset him. I thought, surely he knows better. Why are we, the ones who understand risk the most, so often the quietest? Why are there moments when we should speak, but instead choose to look away? Why do the most important warnings always seem to come too late? I used to believe I was good at my job, but when I saw the final look in his eyes, lying on the stretcher headed for the morgue, I realized that the words we leave unsaid can become a lifelong burden. But if I had known what would happen that morning, would I have had the courage to speak? Have you ever kept silent, knowing that silence might end up costing someone their life? Let me take you back to that moment, that fateful instant when I received the news of Jota's death, and just minutes later, I collapsed. What happened between those 2 points in time? Listen closely, because the truth isn't where we think it is. That morning began like any other. I was making coffee in the staff lounge, preparing for the routine post-match injury assessments. Then my phone lit up with a news alert from the Portuguese sports press. Just one short, cold sentence. Diogo Jota and his younger brother confirmed dead at the scene of a car accident. I didn't reread it. I didn't need to. My body knew it was true before my mind could even process it. My chest tightened, my vision blurred, my ears rang. I felt myself falling endlessly into nothing. I collapsed in the hallway outside the medical bay. Someone screamed for a doctor, someone else checked my pulse, but I was no longer there. I knew I had left, not because anyone told me, but because I felt nothing. No cold, no pain, no fear, just emptiness. And from that emptiness, I was pulled into a place no words can truly describe. I wasn't standing. I wasn't lying down. I was simply there. All around me was a soft golden light, not blinding, not harsh, just a gentle warmth wrapping around me like an embrace. I felt a peace so deep it was almost terrifying. And in the middle of that peace, a voice spoke, not in sound, but in thought. "You're here a little too early." I didn't know who the voice belonged to, but it felt familiar. It had no form, no gender, no name, just a presence, and I knew I could not lie to that presence. Then I saw him, Diogo Jota, standing a short distance away. Not sad, not crying, just calm. And the way he looked at me, not with blame, not with anger, broke me more than anything else could, because I knew. It was my silence that left the road clear for that car to speed forward without warning. I wanted to scream. I wanted to say, "I didn't mean to. I didn't want to upset you. I just thought you'd be fine." But what gives us the right to assume someone will be fine just because they've survived before? I was in a place without time, but back on Earth, only a few minutes had passed. And then I was asked a question. If you were allowed to return, would you do it differently? That question wasn't just for me. It's for anyone who has ever chosen silence out of fear of offending. It's for those who saw a friend speeding toward danger and turned away. Would you do it differently if you knew this silence would be your last? I don't know how far I had gone. All I remember is that when I opened my eyes, if it could even be called that, I was standing in a place without a name, without gravity, without up or down or left or right. There was only light. Not blinding, not cold, a soft, gentle light, as if memory itself had begun to glow and fill the space around me. And then images began to appear, not like watching a movie, but like being forced to relive them moment by moment. I saw Jota the first time he walked into the treatment room, shy but determined. I saw him grow day by day. I saw the times he stumbled, and I reached out to help him up. I saw the moments he celebrated, and I stood in silence, watching with the quiet pride of an older brother. But then I saw something else. I saw the times I caught glimpses of him speeding down the highway. I saw the post he shared, driving at 180 kilometers per hour, and I scrolled past. I saw myself typing out a warning message and then deleting it. I saw my wife's face when she asked, "Did you ever say anything to him?" And I remembered how I avoided the question. I watched all of it. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't erase it. I couldn't lie to it. Then the voice came again, this time clearer, cutting straight through me. Why did you stay silent when you knew it was dangerous? Why didn't you speak up when it could have saved someone's life? Why you, the one who understood the cost of speed the most, turned away? I started to tremble. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say I was just the medical staff, not his parent, not his coach, not the police. I wanted to say I was afraid of hurting our relationship. I wanted to say I didn't think it would happen. But I couldn't say anything, because no excuse can ever make up for a chance lost forever. I stood there, feeling as if my entire heart had been turned inside out. And across from me, Jota stood, looking at me, not angry, but saddened. It wasn't the sorrow of someone mourning his death. It was the sorrow of someone witnessing another person's awakening come too late. Have you ever looked back at your past and realized you didn't do what you could have done, even though you knew you had the power to act? Have you ever realized that just one sentence, one moment of courage could have saved a life? Have you ever stayed silent and carried the weight of that silence for the rest of your life? If time turned back, would you speak up, or would you stay silent one more time? I don't remember how I came back. There was no doorway opening, no beam of light pulling me through. There was only that final question. If time turned back, would you dare to speak up? And then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was staring at the cold fluorescent lights of the emergency recovery room. Someone shouted, "He's awake!" A hand gripped mine, trembling. "Ethan, can you hear me? Are you okay?" I heard the beeping of machines, the rustling of IV lines, the steady rhythm of a heart monitor. The sounds I'd grown so used to in my career, now echoing as if they were giving birth to me again. I came back, but I wasn't the same man who had left. Because in that brief moment, I had seen something I had spent years as a medical professional avoiding. Life is not just about medicine, equipment, or chances. Life is shaped by the words we choose to speak, or choose to withhold. I didn't immediately tell my colleagues what I had seen. No one would believe it. They'd say it was a hallucination, cognitive dissonance after trauma, maybe even temporary brain damage. I don't blame them. A week ago, I would have said the same. But I knew. I had to speak. I started small, with an internal memo to our medical team. I wrote about Jota's accident and how I failed to speak up when I noticed the warning signs. I didn't claim I died and came back. I simply wrote,
Some deaths don't need blood. They only need silence at the wrong moment. And now, I ask one question, over and over, no matter who I'm speaking to. If you knew that car would kill your friend, would you dare to grab the keys just once? Would you speak up, even if it might offend someone? Would you risk being the one who's disliked, if it meant someone else might live?
The news of the accident flooded every media outlet. Diogo Jota dies in tragic car crash. His younger brother was pronounced dead at the scene. Speed was the primary cause. I read each headline like I was swallowing razor blades. Not because I was shocked, but because I had seen it coming, and I said nothing. I treated him. I followed his career from the first injury to the final goal. But I also saw him flaunting his speed. I saw the videos of him driving like he was dancing with death, and I said nothing. Not because I didn't know, but because I told myself I had no right. I thought it was his business, and now that so-called personal business is what killed him. I drove to the northern outskirts of the city, the site of the crash. A sharp curve, two-way road, no guardrail. The divider was still stained with tire marks and blood. The police were gone, but the air was heavy. Like even the space itself hadn't yet come to terms with what was lost. I turned off the engine, stepped out. No one was there. Just a few bouquets someone had left behind, and an old pair of sneakers. Maybe from a fan, maybe from Jota's brother. I didn't touch them. I stood in silence, and in one strange moment, I felt I wasn't standing there alone. I heard a voice, not out loud, but inside, as soft as the wind, but as clear as truth. It wasn't the voice of God. It wasn't my own. Maybe it was Jota, or maybe it was the memory of him speaking on behalf of the silence I once chose. I didn't respond. I just kept asking over and over in my mind, why didn't you stop? Why didn't you listen to any of the warnings? Why did you die and I live? 3 questions spinning in my head like a loop with no escape. I fell to my knees. I cried like a child, not out of fear, but because I knew I would never get a chance to make it right with someone who was already gone. And then I realized I couldn't undo the past, but maybe, just maybe, I could stop the future from repeating it. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera. No script, no rehearsal. I recorded a short video standing at the very spot where Jota died. I looked straight into the lens and said, "Today, I'm standing at the place where one of the finest players I've ever known lost his life. I'm here to tell you this. If you ever believe that speed equals freedom, take a good look at this road. It's a permanent prison." I posted the video on my social media. No tags, no hashtags, no call to share. I just let it exist as a warning. An hour later, it had thousands of shares. One comment read, "I'll never speed again." Another said, "Thank you for saying what so many are afraid to." And I started to wonder, if I hadn't faced the truth of Jota's death, could I ever help save someone else from dying the same way? And if I didn't speak, who would? That's when I understood. Every story told can be a brake pedal. Every near-death experience can be a mirror for the living. I began writing down everything, my entire journey, not just to remember, but to multiply. Not just for Liverpool, but for any place where young people live. People who still think they're immortal, twisting the throttle faster than fate can catch up. I came home with a body that felt like it had been through a war. Exhausted, I tried to close my eyes for a few minutes, and I dreamed. But it wasn't a regular dream. Everything was so vivid, so precise, I was certain it was real. I found myself standing in an empty stadium. No crowd, no lights, just green grass and Diogo Jota. He wasn't wearing a jersey, no cleats, just a young man.
peaceful, with eyes that shone like they had never known pain. I walked toward him, saying nothing. He didn't speak either. He just handed me a soccer ball. I took it, and the moment my hand touched the smooth leather, Jota spoke. "You did what I never got the chance to do. You dared to say what I was too young to understand." I lowered my head. The tears came fast. "Jota, I'm sorry. I should have said something sooner." But he only smiled, softly, like wind brushing across the face. "It's okay, Ethan. Sometimes it takes a death for someone else to truly start living." I could hardly breathe. That sentence, it felt like a blessing, like forgiveness, like a torch being passed to someone still alive. "So you're not angry with me?" I asked. My voice caught somewhere deep in my chest. "No," he answered, turning his gaze toward the empty stands. "I know you stayed silent because you didn't want to lose me, but now you speak because you don't want to lose anyone else." Silence settled between us. Then he turned, gripped my shoulder firmly, and said, "Go. Keep speaking. Say it louder. Say it for everyone who still thinks speed is a sign of strength. Say it for those who don't believe they can die." I woke up with my heart pounding, but I wasn't afraid. I wasn't haunted. I felt one thing, and one thing only. I was alive for a reason. And if you're watching this video, I just want to ask you one thing. Who among your friends is going too fast? Who among the people you love is flirting with death without even knowing it? And you? Will you wait until they're lying still, or will you speak up today? The story I just shared isn't meant to convince you. It's meant to move you, not to scare you, but to wake you up, not to make you cry, but to help you live differently, in a way that Diogo Jota would be proud of, if he could still see it. Diogo Jota was more than a footballer. He was a symbol of talent, speed, and unstoppable ambition. But his death, and his brother's, didn't happen on the pitch. It came from one deep press on the gas pedal, one moment of decision, and one illusion that there's still time.
And if Jota, with all his strength, discipline, and iron will, could fall in one careless moment, then you and I are not immune. Death doesn't care how much money you make. It doesn't wait for you to win one more title. It doesn't give you time to grow up. All it takes is one mistake, and it takes everything. This isn't a story meant to spread fear. It's a wake-up call for anyone who has ever thought, "Just a little faster and I'll make it. Cutting this corner will get me ahead. One more time, I've got this." But you don't. None of us does. There are only two clear choices: master your speed, or let speed master you. If you're a young athlete, a father, a speed lover, don't wait until you're staring at the photo of someone you love, whispering, "If only." Say it now, while you still have the chance to keep someone here. And if Jota could send one last message, I believe it would be this: I went too fast, so slow down and live the life I no longer can.